a 21-year-old singer-songwriter from Toronto, and I'm just kind of doing my thing. Yeah, that's such like a it's a funny question to ask. But yeah, I'm from Toronto, doing my thing with the music, and yeah, it's kind of.
How did you get started with music?
I've been involved with music my whole life. I have a really big Italian family, so like we constantly play music in the house, and I think being in choir as well at a young age, like in my church choir and in high school, it made me want to kind of venture off and learn to perform on my own. And when I was 14, I got the chance to get up on the stage. It was like a festival, and I sang for the first time by myself in front of like, I don't know, 300 people or something. I was kind of nervous at the beginning, like before I got on. I had like the butterflies in my tummy and everything, but once I got on there, I just told myself, I was like, you know what, you've practiced your heart out, you know exactly what you're gonna do, so just go out and just be you, like be yourself. And I think that feeling of being on stage is like when I'm most myself. And I was like, okay, I got to do this for the rest of my life.
Performing is probably like one of my favorite things to do. Like once I got on stage, I don't want to get off. Like I just want to stay there and just.
It's so true, and you get so much adrenaline, and
you do. Really.
Yeah, like you feel so good after, especially when you get off. You're like, okay, am I gonna go back on? Like, what's gonna happen?
Like,
it's awesome.
You started at a really young age. You started off with Family Channel.
Yeah, when I was like 15.
Yeah, and your first music video aired on Family Channel. That must have been crazy.
It was cool.
My first music video aired on Much Music, and I was so hyped.
No, that's sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good feeling.
Being that young in the industry, like, were you homeschooled? Kind of, you were like traveling a lot. Like, how was that that whole experience for you?
It was interesting because it was I was 14, so I was in grade 9. And I went to a private school, an all-girls private school, so with the academics it was pretty tough. But I worked with it, like I had tutors and everything to help, especially when I was gone, because it'd be like 2-3 weeks I'd be in writing camps or something, and I'd be missing out, and it was just kind of like the balance of it, which was tough at first.
How did your friends handle it? Were you like the celebrity of the school?
Well, I went to a really small school, so everybody kind of knew about each other.
Yeah.
So yeah, like it was but you know what, I think people were just the same with me because they knew who I they were just humble and whatever, but when it came to other people, yeah, it was pretty crazy, like getting recognized in places in Toronto I go to all the time. It's like a weird feeling. Very weird. Yeah.
So you worked with some pretty big producers too. Who have you worked with?
Producer-wise, Rob Wells.
And he's worked with
Justin Bieber,
which is huge, and Selena Gomez.
Yeah, he's a really, really good guy. He did Incompatible, he produced Incompatible and Busted, which were the first 2 singles I had on Family Channel.
Yeah. He's
great. And I've worked with like some people down in LA and some people down in like St. Vincent and St. Lucia, which was really cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
Who are you working with right now?
Right now I'm working with the team from Toronto. The production team, they're called Kujini, and they're really cool. They're great. Like we really found like a groove in the style of music that I'm doing. And I'm also working with Miles from this band called Stereos. No, if you remember them, like they had like
Stereo. Oh.
Yeah, they had like they were on Disband, I think. They're cool. So it's great to work with him too, because he gives me a lot of advice, because he's been in the business like almost 10 years. So it's good to have that behind you.
You do a lot of songwriting, right? What type of things do you write about in your music?
It's funny because I was just thinking about this like just recently. Yeah. I think a big message like in my music, just because of who I am, like I'm 21, so the guys I deal with, it's just like, I don't know, just they're not the greatest, and I think, and I think this generation of guys, they're not as vocal about their feelings, and especially because with social media, so many things get lost in translation, like when it comes to relationships. So I think a big thing in my music right now is like being vocal in a relationship, and how that's something that I wish I could get from a guy. It's like what I've been writing.
Are you working on any new music right now?
Yeah, I have a new song coming out in like 2 weeks called Tell Me. It's really cool. Yeah, it's
What's that about, and what's the vibe of the song?
So it's like about being vocal a little bit, like, you know, tell me that you want this to happen.
Okay.
Because especially for me, like I've been really busy, and like anybody in the music business, anybody in like any business is busy, but like especially lately there's just been so much going on that I don't really have a lot of time for people, and it's like the only time I talk to people is maybe like a quick phone call
or an interview right now.
Yeah, or an interview. This is like the only time I get to talk. But that's kind of part of the song as well, talking about you know, like I'm out here doing all this, and like I know I want you to be there for me, but I know that it's hard because
you're crazy.
Things are going crazy, and like I know that you're just at home like waiting for me to call you. So it's kind of like that, and it's also kind of like a badass girl song. I think you'll like it.
Are you gonna be dropping a video for it?
Yeah, I'm dropping a video too, which I'm really excited about. So it's gonna come like 2 weeks.
Wait on it. It's coming.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
Well, who are you listening to right now, and do you have any artists that inspire you, or any people that inspire you?
I'm listening to a lot of music right now. A lot of dance hall music, actually.
Okay, I recently started listening to dance hall too.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been trying to get like inspiration of different genres of music that I'm maybe not as used to kind of keep my mind open when it comes to.
It keeps your music fresh too. Like if you listen to only one artist or one genre, I don't know. It kind of
it might.
Your mind, yeah.
Exactly.
When you listen to different genres, it also gives you ideas, I find, when I listen to different genres of music.
Same, like different melodies or harmonies you might not have heard of at first, or like you're not used to, but then once you're open to it, it definitely keeps you fresh, which is important. But comes to people, I'm trying to think. I like listening, I'm kind of old school, I like listening to albums, and most people are it's like very single driven.
Single, yeah.
But I like the flow of albums. I was listening to this one, it's like a Spanish album. I don't know, I just really liked it. You know, his name's J Balvin. He's kind of like the Justin Bieber of Brazil.
I haven't heard it.
He's really cool. You should check him out because he's like a rapper singer, but just been kind of listening to
Everything.
that style. Yeah, it's fun. It's cool. That's fun.
So, what are your thoughts on the Toronto music scene?
I think it's growing really quickly, which is a good thing. I think especially because there's so many music hubs in the States, like LA, New York, Miami, Chicago, and I feel like Toronto is kind of making its own hub, which is really cool. And I'm proud of it too, because also just like listening to Toronto artists, I feel like I feel and I see the growth, and
For sure.
Yeah, and
like there's so many artists now, like now when you listen to radio, it's Canadian after Canadian. I think there was 3 or 4 Canadian artists on the Billboard at once.
Yeah, well,
which was sick. We had Drake, The Weeknd, Shawn Mendes, and
Justin.
Yeah, that
and
was sick.
Yeah, they dominate, which is cool.
It is.
It's cool to be that, but I feel like there needs to be some more females up there
There
from
does.
Canada.
Some more female.
Maybe I can contribute to that.
What are your plans for the future, and where do you see your career going?
I'm just gonna keep releasing music. That's my thing right now. I'm constantly writing, just to keep it going. Releasing music, releasing more music videos, and and then touring. I haven't been touring yet. I've been in rehearsals for stuff happening, but that's where I see myself, like definitely like getting on a tour and going across North America, and
I love traveling, and I love I was just recently in England on tour, and it's so cool that you get to like see different countries but perform while you're doing it. So it's like the best of both worlds. You get to perform for them, and you get to explore the country.
So you were in Europe. That's really cool.
It was really cool.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
Earlier we were talking about female artists. Who are some female artists that you think paved the way?
I'm trying to think of like female artists that I listened to when I was growing up. I think, well, I'm a huge fan of Gwen Stefani. So I think,
I used to listen to her when I was younger.
Yeah, I think she kind of contributed to making a movement of being like, like I'm a girl, but I don't need to conform to something in order to fit in. Because she wasn't really ever pop, but her music was always forward thinking, and her image was always just herself. Yeah, like
I'm all about being yourself and being original.
Agreed.
I don't think you should try to put yourself into like a category. Like just be yourself, just be you, and people will either love you or hate you for it.
Yeah, I agree. That's 100% being yourself. It's very important in this business because there's so many people that, you know, they could listen to a Drake song and be like, yeah, I'm just gonna do this, and sure, it might, you know, you might make money off of it, but at the end of the day, what originality is it? There's none of it.
What do you bring to the table?
Exactly. What do you bring that's new? Is that it?
So, okay, well, just to end it off. Well,
Yeah.
thank you for coming today.
Yeah,
Fun
no problem.
interview, and we'll hear more from you soon when you're dropping that new single.
Yeah, thanks.
No
Thanks for having me.
problem.
It was fun.